It was supposed to be another routine post-match press conference for Novak Djokovic, calm, composed, and full of insight. But in a matter of seconds, it turned into one of the most heartwarming and surprising scenes of the season. Because right in the middle of answering a journalist's question, Djokovic suddenly heard a familiar voice, and then, to everyone's shock, his wife Jelena appeared in the doorway, with their 2 children by her side. That you're watching Netrush Report. Your home for tennis drama, rivalries, and the human moments that remind us that even the greatest players in history are still family first. After defeating Chile's Alejandro Tabailo in straight sets to reach the quarterfinals of the inaugural ATP 250 Hellenic Championship in Athens, Novak Djokovic sat down in front of the press to discuss his performance. But just as he started to speak about his rhythm and recovery, laughter suddenly broke out across the room. Because there, standing in the side doorway, was Jelena Djokovic, smiling softly, with their son Stefan peeking curiously into the room, and their daughter Tara clutching her hand. It was a rare and beautiful interruption, one that perfectly captured the warmth of the Djokovic family dynamic. Novak, visibly surprised but amused, turned toward them and jokingly asked, "Do you guys have a question? Maybe about my tennis or my hair?" The room erupted in laughter again as Jelena replied sweetly, "We just wanted to say goodbye." One of the journalists chuckled as she continued, "Maybe just take him for a second, and he'll be back." But Novak, staying true to his professional focus, smiled and said firmly yet lovingly, "Give me 1 minute. I'm just finishing. 1 minute. I'm coming back." His family waved goodbye, and as little Stefan called out "Hi" to the reporters, everyone in the room couldn't help but grin. It was a rare glimpse behind the walls of Djokovic's intense competitive world, a moment that blended the responsibilities of being the world's most successful tennis player with the joy of being a father and husband. But once the door closed and the laughter faded, Djokovic shifted gears. The conversation took a serious turn when he addressed what he called fake news, a rumor that spread earlier that day claiming he had already confirmed his participation in the ATP Finals in Turin. Italian Tennis Federation President Angelo Bonaghi had confidently told reporters, "We have confirmation that Djokovic will play in Turin." However, Novak was quick to set the record straight. "I don't know where he got that information from," Djokovic said calmly but firmly. "It did not come from me, nor from my team. I will make a decision at the end of the tournament in Athens." That statement sent a ripple through the tennis world, especially among fans and ATP organizers who have been eagerly waiting to see if the 24-time Grand Slam champion would appear in Turin to chase his 8th ATP Finals crown. Djokovic emphasized that his current focus was entirely on Athens, where he's looking to build momentum and assess his body after a demanding season. The Hellenic Championship in Athens marks a special stop for Novak, not just as a competitive event, but also as a symbolic one. Greece holds deep cultural and emotional ties for Djokovic and his family, given its proximity to his home country and the warm reception he always receives there. And perhaps that's why this press conference interruption felt even more fitting. It wasn't just another tournament. It was a moment that brought Novak's 2 worlds, tennis and family, together in front of cameras. While Djokovic's composure under pressure is legendary, fans saw another side of him here. A loving father balancing the chaos of competition with tenderness and humor. That on the court, Djokovic continues to look sharp. His victory over Tabailo showcased his trademark resilience, a mix of flawless returning, strategic patience, and mental steel. He's set to face Nuno Borges, the 6th seed, in the quarterfinals, a matchup that promises to test his consistency against one of Portugal's rising stars. Elsewhere in the draw, names like Sebastian Corda, Lorenzo Musetti, Brandon Nakashima, and Luciano Darderi remain in contention. But all eyes, naturally, stay fixed on Djokovic. That if he advances deep into the tournament, it might influence his decision about Turin. After all, Djokovic has always treated his schedule like a chessboard, every move calculated, every tournament part of a larger plan to maximize longevity. And yet, his refusal to confirm his ATP Finals participation hints at something deeper. That even for a player driven by history, balance matters. This season has been long, emotional, and filled with headlines. From his record-setting Grand Slam wins to moments of controversy and introspection, Djokovic has navigated everything. often with the same poise that's defined his greatness. But in Athens, he looked different. At peace. Perhaps even content to slow down a little. When asked later if moments like today's interruption reminded him why he continues to play, Djokovic smiled and said, "My family gives me everything. Tennis is a big part of my life, but it's not the only part. When I see them, it reminds me of what really matters." That sentiment mirrors much of what Djokovic has expressed in recent years, that his priorities are shifting, and his purpose extends beyond trophies. As of now, Djokovic remains the only player in the Athens draw who has already qualified for the ATP Finals. The rest, including Musetti and Felix Auger-Aliassime, are fighting for the final spot in Turin. That if Djokovic chooses to skip the event, it would open the door for both players to qualify. And while fans would miss seeing the seven-time finals champion compete, they'd understand the reasoning, especially after seeing today's family moment. After all, Djokovic has often said that his biggest victory isn't on a scoreboard. It's being present for his children, teaching them the values of hard work, respect, and love. Even in the midst of a demanding career, that's why what happened in that Athens press room wasn't just a funny interruption. It was symbolic. It was a reminder that no matter how many records Novak Djokovic breaks, he's still a father who pauses mid-sentence when his kids walk into the room, and a husband who smiles when his wife gently teases him in front of the world's media. In that moment, the man who's conquered tennis's greatest stages became something even more relatable, a dad trying to finish an interview before heading home to tuck his kids in. And maybe, just maybe, that's why Novak Djokovic continues to be one of the most fascinating figures in all of sports. He's both the relentless champion and the man who still makes time for a hug between press questions. That you're watching Netrush Report, where we bring you closer to the passion, humanity, and emotion behind every tennis headline. If you love this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more moments that show the real heart of the sport. Because in tennis, just like in life, every point, every smile, and every interruption tells a story.